My name is Shaul Gelman, and I'm the co-founder and president of RealView Imaging. As you can see here, RealView Imaging is a company that creates holograms, real holograms, and not optical illusions. What we do, we interfere light in free space. It's like 3D printing of light in free space, and since we're doing it in real time, so we can compute it in real time, project it in real time, and allow, for example, physicians to work on the images of the heart that is being treated right now. The places that we are going with our technology as a first location are places that are relying 100% on imaging. As you might know, the trend in medicine is to do minimally invasive procedures and to do minimization of the opening of the patient. In these procedures, like here, the heart is being treated in real time with a catheter, and the physicians are relying 100% on imaging. Today, they are looking for hours and hours on 3D images that are locked in a 2D screen. And what we're doing in RealView Imaging is we unlock and unleash this information and keep it in front of the physician as a three-dimensional object, a reality just like any other object that you see, only it's fully digital and in real time. Our first product that was unveiled just a week ago in Canada is what we call the Hollowscope Eye. The Hollowscope Eye is an electro-optical element that is suspended above the head of the physician using a boom, and the physician is looking through a head-up display kind of optics, and he can see everything that is around him, to include the patient and any other equipment. But when he looks through this piece of optics, he can see the hologram right in front of him, very, very close to him, as a fully three-dimensional object in reality. Since this is an optical reality and not an optical illusion, he can work with it for an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours without any headache or nausea. And since we track the hand, he can move it around. It is as accurate as a 150 microns per voxel, and it is not any burden on the physician because it's not on the head of the physician. It is suspended above him, and when he wants, he can get in, and when he doesn't want, he can get out and do anything else he wants to do during the procedure. So our technology, as I mentioned, is like printing 3D information in space, and we do it in real time. And then we allow the physician to see the image as clearly as any other object, and it is the image that actually being acquired right now from the patient using ultrasound or navigation data or other equipment that brings the information from the patient. The added values are numerous, but the very general ones, the first one is the visualization itself. When I show you something in front of you as close as 30 or 40 centimeters from your eyes, so you immediately understand the spatial complexity, the accuracy of everything related to other things in the image. So the physician can see the anatomy, the pathology, the physiology. He can see exactly where the tool that is now driving inside, and he can understand the relationship between the tool and the tissue. And since the image is an object in space and an optical reality in front of him, we track the hand, and you can literally move the image, cut the image, mark inside, and you can focus on the image and on your hand at the very same time in an extremely accurate manner. As I mentioned, we are not creating the information. We're hooking up to existing modalities that are out there in abundance. Any hospital, any place around the world, people are using 3D acquisition modalities like ultrasound and navigation data and CT and MRI and angiography. So we take this data, we can hook to it in real time, receive the information, compute the hologram, and create it above the patient in the Hollowscope Eye system and inside the patient in the Hollowscope X, and I will touch on that in a few slides. Here we took pictures of some real holograms that are hovering in a cath lab. So here you can see that the focus is on the hand and on the image. This is an aortic valve before implantation on the aorta based on CT, and you can see that you can cut it with your hand, you can make inside any markings that you would like to do, you can make measurements, you can move it around, everything is being done in front of you in real time. This is 3D angiography. Again, this is coming intraprocedurally. This is the aorta and the renal arteries, and the physician can do whatever you want with this information, cut it open, mark inside, make measurements, anything, and everything is being done extremely realistically and in real time. As a platform, we can go to many places. We have decided to focus our technology to start with cardiology, specifically interventional cardiology and electrophysiology. These are two huge markets that are heavily dependent on imaging because the patient is totally closed, and they are doing very complicated things like fixing valves, replacing valves, ablating in the heart in very, very precise locations. And one of their challenges is to understand the spatial complexity and the location of the tool during the procedure. And this is exactly what we give these physicians. You can see that we have decided to focus on these markets because these are two of the biggest three markets in general in medicine, which is cardiology and diagnostic imaging. These numbers are in billions here. And in this market, there is a lot of sophisticated equipment, but not too many changes between the big giants. You can imagine that the best CT in the world by Philips or GE or Siemens or Toshiba is probably not very different. And we are presenting a very differentiating technology that is empowering anything that is out there. We're not competing with any of these giants. We take their information, and instead of collapsing this valuable information on 2D, we just maintain it as a three-dimensional image during the procedure itself. We were very, very honored just last week to unveil our first commercial system after 8 years of development. We have unveiled it in Canada with the President of Israel present, the Honorable President Rivlin, that joined us. And of course, we did a very nice PR with launching this technology for the first time in Toronto General in Canada, doing actual procedures in patients. We're very privileged to be in the media, also featured on Grey's Anatomy, had a TED Talk and presented to Prime Minister Abe and Prime Minister Netanyahu when he visited Israel. And we're very happy that the media finds interest in what we do in RealView Imaging. As you can imagine, we are not isolated to cardiology or electrophysiology. We are relevant to many other things, and I would like to talk with you just a little bit about interventional oncology. If you saw our system, so there is the piece of optic here, and we project the interference pattern, which is the original of the hologram, directly to the retina. So if you block it with your hand, you will still see the hologram in the correct location in space. So if you block it with the patient, you will still see it in the correct location. And this is what gave us the idea to go with the Hollowscope X. The Hollowscope X capability is remarkable. You can see inside the patient. Imagine that you can now look at me and see my liver or heart or anything else in the correct location in my body. Today, when people are trying to do, for example, a biopsy in a tumor in the liver, so the patient goes into the CT and then goes out of the CT. When he goes out of the CT, the physician is now trying to go and to get a biopsy from the tumor. So he has a needle, he's looking on a 2D screen like this, he doesn't look on the patient, and then he gets in a centimeter, and then he's not confident. Maybe he's going to touch a vessel, a bone, maybe he's not in the right direction. So he keeps it like this, and it goes another time to the CT. And it keeps on doing that until he is confident. In our solution, we take the 3D information from the CT, and then when you look through our technology, the patient becomes transparent. You just look inside, and you see everything. And then you can drive your needle to the correct location inside the body without hitting a vessel, without hitting a bone, without hitting a nerve, getting to the actual direct location in the body, take a biopsy, or deliver energy and kill the tumor and go out. And this is our next generation, so it is based on the very same technology of an accurate hologram that we can create in real time, but here we register it inside the patient. So this is my session, and I conclude with that. We're very, very excited with coming into the market for the first time after 8 years of development. I'm also very proud to say that we're the first company in the world that is doing volumetric interference-based holography at a product level, and we're happy to collaborate with companies as well as with financial investors. My contact is Shaul at RealViewImaging.com. Thank you very much.